Well, hi everybody, and today I've been busy with the batteries. At last we're settled in one place, and I've had the time to get a few tools out and fix up that third battery. I'm going to take you outside just to show you the sort of wire run and what I've done and how that's all fitted in. But really, I mean, we are connected up to the electricity here. We're on an electric hookup, but we do get charged for that electricity. So every now and again, I'm just unplugging from the electric at the electric end and letting the batteries take the strain. Especially while it's sunny. It hasn't been too sunny today. It's been quite warm, but quite a lot of cloud cover. But let's just remind you of the electricity cupboards and the dials and gauges and that sort of stuff. So this end, we've got the electric cupboard, and you can see we're on electric hookup because all these are on. We've got the charger running, the space heater, I don't know, and the water heater. We're not actually using those at all. This is a reverse polarity warning, and these are the RCD, the residual current breakers that just trip if there's any issues. And we've got the 12 volt side over here with all the different fuses in for the various bits and pieces, and you can see that we've got the 12 volt on, which runs the water and the lighting, and we can switch between leisure and vehicle battery. I'm going to pop those back on because we normally leave all those just switched on anyway. But over on this side, you'll remember this little panel. It sort of does a similar thing to the other panel in terms of the switching of the battery. Now we've got the vehicle battery here, which is up on 13.4 volts, and as we slide through, just gonna switch that microphone around a bit. As we slide through all those different settings, you'll see that our waste tank reads full pretty much all the time now. Our fresh tank needs to be refilled. We've got a leisure battery up on 13.4 volts, and you'll see the vehicle battery on 13.5. It's a weird thing. Sometimes these settings can be different, but interestingly, we've got the solar panel, even though it's sort of cloudy outside. Let's just show you the view we've got here. There's a bit of blueness going on. The sun is sort of over that way, but it's not actually that bright. But we're still getting, as you can see here, we're still getting half an amp of solar power coming through. Now I've read up on this panel, and apparently this battery amps is supposed to read out the amount of amps we're getting charged is coming in to that. So if it's a positive, the batteries are getting charged. If it's a negative, the batteries are getting depleted. But I'm just going to go and take out the electric hookup, which is over this way. So we've got these 6 plots here are all plugged into this electric hookup section here. These are all metered. This is ours. So now you can see we're unplugged, and let's just take you back in to have a look at first of all, we'll just go and confirm all these lights go off. These all stay on because that's the 230 volt side, and there's no 230 volt coming in. So this one, you can see still the vehicle battery is reading 13.2. Weirdly, let's just go up that way, and you can see that the leisure battery here is reading 13.4. Now what I've done is I've popped over for the inverter. I've got the inverter switch just down there. That's a remote switch just tucked out the way, and I've got this is now sort of plugged in to the inverter, and what I can do is take the little kettle plug, pop that in there and switch that on. You see the lights coming on there. So that's I think that's an 800 watt kettle coming on, and that's running through the inverter. But what you'll see here is the voltage on the battery drops sort of to an alarmingly low level, and that's just with the kettle on. But yeah, the thing is that the battery reading while the inverter's running and the kettle's going is not that accurate, because let me just switch the kettle off and show you that again, and that's immediately going back up to 12.8, and it was heading down towards 11.8 or less than 12 volts. So I don't really trust to see that's back up to 12.9 already. So I don't really trust that gauge at all. But let's take you outside to show you what we've got in terms of the battery installation. Along the side of the Comanche, we've got this big section here which has a couple of locks on it. That pulls up, where you've got a couple of batteries this end. So you've got I call this battery 1, battery 2, and down that way is battery 3. So I've got the extra solar panel connection here, so I can easily plug the solar panel in. So that's battery 1, battery 2. These bigger cables here connect the other batteries together. So I've linked all these up in parallel. So positive to positive, or red cable to red, and then another one going off down to here. So that's the other cable, and you'll see the cable route, which I've really got to tidy that up and get that packed in properly and all stored away. So the job is half done. I just wanted to get all the batteries in and working, and you'll see I've got the cable here and a cable there just going back, and I've got an extra cable. So you'll see that right under here I've got these two black and red cables here, and I've got this other extra cable which I've got to sort of tag in to there, which is the other end of the suitcase solar panel that we've got. So what I can say is that the third battery's in, making a difference because of the amount of power we're able to use, and I've spent a few hours actually running a lot of electrical equipment and making sure, unplugging from the electric hookup, and putting as much load on the battery bank as I thought was sensible, and then seeing how the battery recovered from that. And actually it all worked rather well, so I was off grid, as it were, for quite a time, running a lot of equipment, and the batteries were hardly touched at all. So I've no issue with running all the electric stuff that we need to, charging up with these new batteries and the charging system that we have. I've spoken at length to the guys over at Road Pro, and they have been super helpful, even though I've only ever bought once from them, which was the inverter, the NDS inverter, which is superb, by the way. And they've been really helpful in sort of steering me towards the right solution. I think the best battery solution is, of course, a lithium battery setup with maybe a couple of 100 amp hours of lithium cells, but that is super expensive. I mean, even if you buy the bare batteries, good quality bare batteries, and link those up together with other bits of electronics and stuff, it's going to cost you £2,000, maybe £3,000 when you get all the bits and pieces sorted out and the fitting involved. However, a 200 amp hour lithium battery setup would see you squared away for battery power, and no need for mains electric hookup at all, almost no matter what you did, because within 15 minutes of starting the engine, those batteries come back up. In fact, I've had a conversation with the guy that's camped next door to us, and he's done exactly that. He went for the lithium solution, and he bought a couple of lithium batteries with the 12 volt quick charger from the engine, and so on and so on. And he's running all of his kitchen equipment, and he's been testing out the system as well. And what I've seen is there's no issues at all, and he runs loads of stuff, electric cookers and all the stuff like that. So it really is very, very doable to go completely off grid and not need electricity at all, or electric hookup, or shoreline, as some people call it. You just don't need it. A decent solar panel or two that you can point at the sun, and maybe a battery to battery charger to turn your engine into a portable generator, if you like. 10 or 15 minutes will give you that boost you need, and you're good to go. We spent nearly 3 weeks off grid, plugged into electric once overnight because it was there, not because we needed it. And we've not missed having electric hookup at all on our way from England to Spain. So I'm super confident that we won't ever need to plug in to electric while we've got these solar panels and these batteries on board. And if I could ever afford it, I would upgrade to lithium as well, because you get a greater amount of amp hours included in those batteries. If you compare 100 amp hour lead acid, or the EFB enhanced flooded batteries that we've got, then against the same amp hours of a lithium, so 100 amp hours on lead acid, 100 amp hours on lithium, the lithium performs more consistently and longer without damage than the lead acid. So you can deplete your lithium batteries down to at least 80%, maybe 90%, but the lead acids, you can only deplete those down to 50% without the danger of starting to damage those. So with if you've got 100 amp hours, you can go for 80 amp hours without starting to like put your battery in danger on lithium. With the lead acid, you can only go down to 50 amp hours without putting your battery in danger of damage. So that's it. So hope you've enjoyed that little techie run around on the electricity and the hookup. We've been busy today doing all that, but if you have enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to follow all the other stuff that we're doing, and don't forget, I've got that roof repair coming up while we're settled here. Why not consider subscribing? And if you don't want to miss any of our content, click that bell icon next to the subscribe button and we'll send you a reminder. That's it for today. I'm going to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.